I'm going to get into my 3 critical mistakes of why I believe Penn State lost this game. So, critical mistake number 1 of why I believe Penn State lost this game is the third quarter and the fourth quarter offensive meltdown. We can talk about Drew Allar all we want. We can talk about bad running plays all we want. We can talk about all that stuff. The fact of the matter is, in the third and fourth quarter, Penn State averaged 5.6 yards per play, and that was to Notre Dame in the first quarter, or in the first half, was averaging 3.9. Notre Dame in the second half was averaging 6.2. Penn State, their offense did not improve with Notre Dame's offense. You saw Notre Dame be able to start running the ball. You saw Notre Dame be able to start picking up yardage in the second half that they weren't able to pick up in the first half. That never happened for Penn State. Penn State in the third quarter had only 25 total yards because they had -3 rushing yards on only 7 plays. When you only have 4 minutes of possession time in the third quarter to 11 minutes for Notre Dame, thankfully Notre Dame only scored 7 points on them, but that could have got real ugly real fast with how Penn State just completely lost the third quarter and then started losing in the fourth quarter as well. My other one is Penn State lost the middle 8 in this game. In those last 4 minutes of the first half and in the first 4 minutes of the second half, I believe that is where the game really started to change because you saw Penn State get that touchdown. Penn State had confidence. Penn State was rolling at that point. I believe it was 10-0. And then on that next drive, Notre Dame is able to go down the field and with only 2 minutes, get a field goal. Then they get the ball right at the beginning of the next half, and they go 8 plays, 75 yards, and they get themselves a touchdown. They just went right down the field on Penn State. It was just, knife through butter at that point. And losing that middle 8, I felt like set the tone for the entire rest of the game. And then finally, my critical mistake number 3, I feel like Penn State gave this game away in the fourth quarter. Cam Miller falling down. Just as I was telling my wife, she didn't really care, but just as I was telling my wife, I was like, Notre Dame needs a big play here. She didn't really care. She was just listening to me and being nice. But I said, Notre Dame needs a big play on this drive. Like, they are going to have to get a big play in order to win this game. Right after I said that, Cam Miller falls down, and Riley Leonard throws the pass out to Grayhouse, and he's able to juke. I believe it was Jalen Reed, one of the safeties. I forget if it was Jalen Reed or the other one. He's able to juke him out. He falls down, 50-some yard touchdown pass for Riley Leonard. Nicholas Singleton's false start on that very next drive. Because you look at it, that led to a 3-and-out. That next play, they got 10 yards. That would have been a first down. But instead, they get those 10 yards. They get stuffed on the run play. And then Drew Allar tries to scramble, tries to make a play, and then he gets stuffed as well. You go 3-and-out in that situation. You give the ball right back to Notre Dame. The hands of the face call that wiped out the sack. It was unnecessary. He was getting blocked. It was completely unnecessary. I forget which defensive lineman it was, but that was completely unnecessary.
It was Durant. Zane Durant.
Okay. Oh, yeah, it was Durant. Abdul Carter made a great play on that one. That would have backed Notre Dame even further back, and you would have possibly been in a situation where they wouldn't have been able to pin you as deep as they did, and possibly you get the ball a little bit quicker because Notre Dame is trying to maybe save time. I don't know what would happen there, but Drew Allar might not have thrown that last interception if that sack had counted. And then finally, there at the end, the management of, trying to win the game there, not just being content with, we know we're the better team, so we're content with a tie and going into overtime. Drew Allar pressured himself in that moment, tried to make a hero play, tried to throw across his body in the middle of the field late, and it didn't work out for him. And those are the 4 mistakes those are the 3 mistakes, and then those are the 4 areas where I felt like Penn State just gave the game away. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think you're right on. I'll throw in another play, and it was a play call. So after the Singleton false start, you had a 3rd and 3, and Greg McElroy on the broadcast said this is the time you get the ball to Drew or to your tight end Tyler Warren. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, they're going to defend him. Like they're going to find a way to defend him. And granted, he was held on that play. It should have been a penalty. There was also an offsides on that play. They didn't see that. But if I'm Andy Kotelnicki, you've got to have a some sort of outlet if he's covered. And instead it was a little bit of a roll. I don't know if he rolled out because he felt pressure or what, but it seemed like he was almost the only option on that play. And it was just a terrible decision. Like you've got to have options. And the fact that they went 3 and out after they got a stop at 24-24, even though Notre Dame didn't score on the next drive, it sucked all the life out of Penn State, because it was like you went from having a chance to drive the ball down the field to just giving the ball back.
Left.
And just that, yeah, like
they had 5 minutes left.
If they run the ball and are able to run the ball, they could have just had one drive to win it. I think that's the most frustrating thing, and I think that's the biggest failure is the false start combined with a 3rd and 3 play call. I thought those were both, just terrible, terrible mistakes.
Yeah, and everybody knew it was going to Tyler Warren on that play. I mean, everybody knew Tyler Warren went in motion. And I was sitting there and just thinking to myself, Tyler Warren's going to run an out route. That's what they're going to do. They're going to run those receivers off.
Yep.
Drew Allar's not even going to look at the receivers. Tyler Warren's going to throw an out route, and that's what he's going to look for. And lo and behold, that's what they did. And I mean, Notre Dame knew it. You're right. There was offsides and there was some holding on that play, but you got to play through it. So Penn State goes from having the ball with 5 minutes left, game tied, to going 3 and out and giving Notre Dame the ball back with 2.5 minutes left in the game. And Notre Dame starts that next drive on, what was it? The 25? I forget where they started it from. No, the 20. They started.
Yeah, it was the 25. It was 25 or 20.
Yeah, they punt the ball down there, and Notre Dame gets the ball with 20 on the 25, and they go 6 plays, 28 yards, punt. Drew Allar throws the interception. They need 7 plays, 19 yards, milk the clock, 7 seconds left. They kick the field goal. Game over. So, yeah, I mean, it just – I'm not trying to take anything away from Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame, like, obviously that interception at the end, that was huge. That won them the game. But I just felt like there were mistakes that Penn State made, losing the middle 8, the 3rd and 4th quarter debacle, not just on offense, on defense as well, allowing Notre Dame's defense to start moving the ball like that, and then giving the game away. That Cam Miller falling down, I know Drew Allar is going to eat himself alive, and I know this isn't how football players operate, many of them, but that Cam Miller falling down was just as impactful, if not more, than the Drew Allar interception, I think. And the hands to the face. And the Nicholas Singleton false start. I mean, they all added to it.
Yeah.